right. Welcome back to the Gym Business Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, joined again in the studio with the beautiful lights, the beautiful backgrounds, and the beautiful man.
Oh, hey.
Hello. Zach Columbia. What's up, buddy? How are you?
That's me.
Was it me that was talking about?
What an introduction.
All good. We got, man. So check-ins, client check-ins. I'm going to tell you the story about, this would have been 2014, 15, somewhere in there. 2015. No, definitely 2016. 2016, business was doing great. I have a tax lady that kind of tells me, towards the end of the year, you need to get some write-offs unless you want to pay taxes. And I was like, well, what do we need? What can we do? What equipment can we buy in the gym to offset some of those gains that we were having a great year? And one of the things was a sauna, like an infrared sauna, and the other one was an InBody. So InBody, we bought at the same time, kind of like in a December time period to kind of do some write-offs and stuff. But it was very easy. I think the sauna might have been a stretch because this red light technology had been just coming out, or infrared, and we were like, cool, maybe our clients will like it. That completely failed, and we sold that off. But the InBody we've had and we've used consistently, day in, day out, week in, week out. And the justification for spending a lot of money on an InBody or a DEXA or whatever, what's the other one? Jeez. Evolt, and there's even two other ones. Anyways, a body composition analysis tool is because the promise that we made to the market and to our customers is we're going to help you lose body fat, gain muscle, lose weight, get in better shape. All of those things was our promise. And if we were going to promise that, we needed to prove it to our clients by having the most accurate device to do that at the time. It still, I believe, is InBody. But it's starting to change. My mind's starting to change. We've had a couple of good calls and conversations with some of our other partners and things, and it comes a point in time where you start to look back and you look at the lifestyle client that we really talk about and we enjoy having in here, and the transformational client. The transformational client was and still is for a lot of gyms is their main focus. I want to help people lose weight. I want to help people get on stage. I want to help people burn body fat, gain muscle, lean out, whatever you want to call it, is the promise. And that attracts a style of person that is looking for composition changes and results in a shorter period of time as possible, if we're being honest. Why take a long time when you can do a short time? But it also is the transactional client that once they do get the result they're looking for, most of the time, not every time, most of the time they move on. And you look at the clientele that we love serving here, they're not so concerned about the scale. And they're not so concerned about how quick or what's going on. They have this romantic idea of being in great shape, but they don't really want it because to do it, they would need to try a lot harder. They'd have to get really strict on some things and be pretty honest with themselves about the wine and the food and all the things outside of the gym. And so there came a point in time, and just recently, that we're like, hey, what if we don't stand behind any promises of weight loss, but we do stand behind something like movement quality or something that we do have pretty good control over because we can stretch and manipulate and corrective movements and how we train. And those are things that we can promise. The question now becomes, does it make sense to put somebody on a scale every 30 days, 6 weeks or whatever? And not to mention, and you would know this more than me, how often are they getting off of that scale with a huge smile on their face? I did it. And how does that affect their long-term, retention of those clients? So what are your thoughts?
Oh man. Okay. There's so many different
thoughts,
pieces to this. I want to make sure we, try to cover as many as possible. But if you think about the experience that you are trying to create in your gym, well, what do we want? We want it to be like their third place, their home away from home. We want it to be their social hangout. They come in, high five, smiles. They sweat a little bit. They get some endorphins flowing. They leave feeling inspired and really, really good. And so everything that we do by design is to create that. But then we bring them in, and I don't care if they've gotten good results or not. You bring them in, you put them on the scale, no matter what, they're going to be disappointed. It's very interesting. You think about like the psychology that's been just pounded into, especially females' minds, over the course of the last, 50 years, it's all about the weight. So you could bring a female client and they're having a great experience with you, and they get on the scale. They could have gained 5 pounds of muscle. They could have lost 5 pounds of fat, and they lost no weight. And to them, it's like devastating. I've been working so hard. And now you're creating this friction point in your gym where it's like, now I have to try to educate that client about why the weight number didn't move. And you're up against the last 50 years of it being baked into their head that they should weigh X amount when we know
less.
That's not even realistic.
Yeah. And meanwhile, that's the holy grail, to lose body fat and gain muscle simultaneously. That's like, we did it, right? That's like a huge success for the gym and for the coaches that have been working with that client. But yet, like you're saying, they don't see it that way.
And we're there celebrating it, and they're like, I don't want to be here because like you think I'm not even happy with the results.
And they think you're just trying to sugarcoat it or something.
You're just trying to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
So that's like the best case scenario is like, hey man, we got somebody incredible results. Well, what happens if you got them piss poor results, right? Or not you, but like they didn't eat right. They didn't follow the plan. They're stressed out. They're not sleeping. They're going through menopause. They're not losing weight. And everything that they do inside the gym is phenomenal. They're enjoying themselves, and you're creating these checkpoints in the business to create a negative experience.
And friction. Yeah.
And friction and a loss of status.
In the funniest thing, not the funny, the most ironic thing is they could have lost the muscle mass, which is the worst thing that could happen, and their weight goes down.
And they're happy.
Yeah. Isn't that completely backwards?
And what do you do as the person doing the check-in with them? You try to make them feel better about it. And so if you try to make them feel better about it, if they didn't get good results, one, you're kind of compromising. You're wondering like, well, what's the alternative? Do I just like blame them for not getting the result?
Whatever you do is wrong.
No, you can't win. That's the point that I'm trying to make here is like, if you put it on them and like, hey, what do you think of your results? Well, you can't win because they didn't get the results. If you try to sugarcoat it and ease the blow of like, yeah, you didn't get good results. Now they're going to read right through that. It's just, there's no real upside with the majority, with the masses.
Yeah, and the most ironic thing is the result that we decided we wanted to be in charge of, the weight loss, the fat loss result for the client, the promise, was the one we have the least control over.
Yeah.
But yet we volunteered to be that place where people are going to come in, I'm going to go lose weight in their head, weight. We want body fat loss, but weight. And then they step on the scale and things aren't the way they want. Or again, the holy grail happens and we gain some muscle mass and we lost some body fat and the scale stays the same or it even goes up. You just say 5 pounds of muscle, 1 pound or 4 pounds of fat loss. Again, even better than just losing muscle mass. In fact, the exact opposite. you failed in their eyes. And it's just wild to, and you can't educate somebody enough because of the psychology of the 50 years, like you said.
Yeah.
If that scale doesn't go down, I didn't get results. Even though their clothes fit better, they look better, they feel better, they're stronger. All those things don't matter to some clients, I would say.
Yeah.
And so we decided that was what we wanted to be up against. It's hard enough, guys. It is hard enough to get clients because of the product we sell as far as delayed gratification, soreness, discipline, all that thing. We're not selling a shot. Some gyms are now. They're selling GLP-1s or whatever. That's a whole nother topic. But like, we're not selling that. We're selling hard work and dedication. And then we're going to promise the thing we can't ever even promise because all those variables outside of our control, stress hormones, time of life for women, like whatever it is. And what are we doing? How stupid are we?
Well, I'll tell you,
as an industry.
Tell you a little story. This maybe happened a year ago. We had this client and she was super consistent here 3-4 days a week. And, strength was increasing. She's lifting more weights. And I just, when somebody's looking at themselves in the mirror every day, they don't necessarily notice a change. And so I always make a conscious effort when I see somebody's body composition changing to point it out. Mm-hmm. So I went over to her, she was working out, and I was just like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, you are looking so amazing. Like, I can tell, like, it looks great, and I just keep up the great work, So then literally the next week, she comes in, she does an in-body, and she gets terrible results. Like, everything moved in the wrong direction. And the next day, she sent in a request to cancel her membership. And so I started thinking about that, and I'm like, okay, one, I set her up for disappointment because I told her how great she was doing and how good she was looking, and
Were
the
you lying to her?
consistency was, no, I wasn't lying to her. I noticed it.
Okay.
But, I'm looking at her going, man, you're doing great. And so I'm kind of setting expectations of like, this is going to be an amazing scan. So the blow then is even bigger when she looks at the numbers. And so I get her cancellation request. I reach out to her. In your business, interacting with clients, there are always black swans. If you guys have read that book, Never Split the Difference, it talks about black swans. They're unknowns. And so in interaction with a client that's, it could be a positive, could be a negative, but it's like something where the outcome is not good. We have to go, well, what's the unknown? What's the black swan here? So I reach out to her and have a conversation. Well, turns out she moved further away from the gym. She, is a teacher or a counselor at a school where she deals with troubled children that want to commit suicide and all kinds of horrible things. She got in a car accident in rush hour traffic on the way here, like a few days earlier. Like, all these things start to stack up, but she was consistent. She's sticking with it and all of this. And then all of a sudden, this status drop of what the scale tells her. And it's just this
tipping point.
Is the tipping point. It's this massive blow that we didn't know about the car accident and the stress and all these things that are going on. And it's like, she looks better, but the numbers are they're the thing that she's placing the value on. And so it was like a negative validation of this isn't worth it anymore.
Interesting.
And if
that scale was so I guess the question, the first thing comes to mind is how is she looking so good, but then her results were bad? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, you think about like stress, not sleeping well. She's around that time of life, and like all these things where
Water weight and
the
stuff like
scale
that.
is not going to tell the whole story. And anybody that is a gym owner or works in the industry knows that. Like, you can see somebody and be like, man, you're making all these positive changes and it looks great, and then
the snapshot in time.
The snapshot in time. it just
was
doesn't
negative.
tell the
Yeah,
whole
and
story.
so there's a scenario where like, what's the point of even you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if that scale wasn't in this equation, or that check-in wasn't in the equation, and she was just going to come in the next day, she may still even be here. She would have got through all that kind of stresses in that little moment of time, and so again, guys, it becomes the question: is a check-in even worth it? Because on paper, in theory, it makes sense. Like, we're holding our clients accountable. It gives us a chance to talk about things. It helps us, educate the muscle mass versus fat loss. But yet we lose people right there on the spot because of it. Or like you said, the thing that we said just before we went on the air just now, it's like they're feeling good. They're working out. They're identifying with somebody that works out. And in their head, that's good. That's all, like, that's where they want to be. Then we force them into this other room and sit them on that scale. And then now their status, like you said, they were up high. Now their status drops because they didn't get the results. And yeah, maybe it was because they went to Cabo and they, whatever, went off the rails for a week or two. And it's all reflected here in this high sodium. It's a water weight and everything else. What is the point? When you don't put that in the equation, they're happy as a clam, and just let them be where they're at and don't force them into check-ins, that they're happy. Like, is it our responsibility to force a result on a client when even they don't even want to get on that scale? Is it our responsibility? That's an honest question, because I know gym owners that fight with their clients. We got to get you in for a check-in. We got to get you on the scale. We got to see where we're at. And the client knows deep down they're not going to have a good result. They don't want to be on it.
Yeah.
Is it our responsibility to force them onto that? I don't think so.
So there's this term in our industry that is a major fallacy, and it's accountability.
I was going to say accountability, right?
By definition, nobody can hold anybody accountable except the person themselves. You have to hold yourself accountable. Literally, if you look at the definition, I don't know word for word, but for anybody listening to this, think back about any time you've ever tried to hold somebody accountable, client accountable. 99 out of 100 times, it doesn't work, and it creates a negative interaction with that client. It's a negative.
It's the one time that one person was like, man, I needed this call, right?
Very rarely happens.
Right.
Very rarely happens. And so, for years, we've been like, well, we're going to hold you accountable. That's not what the client actually wants. That's what they'll say they want, but it creates friction. It creates this problem, a negative interaction in the business. So the question then becomes, well, how do we outsmart that? There's all these issues in our business, all these things. I don't know who created the fitness industry or who has morphed it into this monster that it's become. But like, you think about freezes. Freezes don't exist in another industry. Whose idea was that to be like, yeah, I'll let you freeze your membership?
Yeah.
Think about like, okay, weight loss. Whose idea was it to be like, okay, as an industry, we're going to be responsible for that? So we have to outsmart these problems. We can't go head to head with it. So I came up with this term a couple years ago. We're not going to worry about holding our clients accountable. What we're going to do is we're going to worry about getting and keeping momentum. How do we keep them engaged and create the experiences and the moments in time that maintain momentum so they don't fall off? And so, we say check-in. Yeah, absolutely. Like, a check-in is important with your clients, but a weigh-in probably is doing more harm than it is good. And so one thing that we started doing several years ago is we came up with our lift cycle. It's our mesocycles, our whole global macro cycle. And we do what we call an integration phase. So we have hypertrophy, strength, endurance, and between each one of those phases, we have an integration phase. And every integration phase, we would schedule a check-in with our members. That's our integration week, and we just kind of built it in. And it actually took our like check-ins from 10% of our members to like 60% of our members, skyrocketed it, and it's phenomenal. But we were doing it with weigh-ins, but we would give them a reason why. So this helped. We would say, hey, great job in the hypertrophy phase. That was phenomenal. We want to see how you did. Next week, we're heading into strength. Let's get a new baseline. Let's set intentions for the strength phase. When are you coming in? Let's, do your in-body scan. So that helps systematize it. But now we've been thinking about this. We go, okay, guys, what are we going to do here? Because we don't think that the check-ins are doing us any good. So what we decided is, hey, we're still going to have the in-body as an option for our clients. If they, if that's something that like, hey, I want to do this, but we're not going to encourage it maybe once or twice a year. Like, let's just get rid of that.
Yeah.
And let's replace it with a Kinotech scan and do like movement assessments, because we have more control over that. Yeah. And if it isn't like positive, then we can very easily just say, hey, I think you're tight, sore from the workout, like you're not moving as well.
And you can correct that quickly.
We can correct it quickly, and then we bring them back in and rescan them. And it's not going to have as huge of a, it's not going to crush them if they have a bad scan.
And to be honest with you, it brings up more a conversation around their lifestyle, sitting a lot or whatever, they work at a desk. Okay, let's whatever, right? Let's open the hips up. Let's do some correctives out on the floor, and we can own that. We can say, yeah, that's something we can do. We have a stretch table in there.
Yeah,
we can own that journey, that product, that promise, I should say. Whereas the weight loss, boy, that's a tough road. Now it's a huge industry. But I'd be honest with you, there's a lot easier ways to lose weight if weight is your goal.
It's not our industry anymore. It's
not ours.
It's peptides industry now.
Yep. And that weight will be muscle mass loss weight. I'm hearing about some things that preserve muscle mass. Now, who knows, man? It's a wild west when it comes to the peptides.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not our industry. Our industry is going to be movement quality and strength. I think those are two things, and maybe even performance. If you're an athletic performance facility, speed, vert jump, that kind of type of thing, agility. I don't believe it should be weight loss. I don't think it ever should have been weight loss. We just did it because that was what it always was. It's just so interesting. You look back. What were we thinking? We were promising something we couldn't promise, and selling a product that was superior, if that's even a word, to
inferior.
Inferior, thank you. Inferior to diet alone. And the funny thing is, and I remember I go back to when I was doing sales consultations, and I told people, I go, you can lose weight without ever stepping in a gym. That's what a diet is, Mrs. Johnson. Like, that's literally the conversation I have. But you cannot build muscle mass without fitness. And if muscle mass is what you want, we got your solution. But weight loss, and I would do this whole thing with you gain muscle and lose fat, and the scale stays the same, but it's just going right over their head. I tried to do that at the sales consultations. But the bottom line is, people want to lose weight, period. Not necessarily fat. They want to lose weight, the scale. We're just up against it to try to educate the whole market. Like, it's just like impossible.
Yeah. And if you think about our ideal clients, they want longevity. That's where they're at in their life, is, the 40 plus people who can actually afford your services long-term, want to build this into their lifestyle with the goal of, hey, when I'm 80, I'm going to be able to get up off the couch and do things and enjoy my life. They want longevity. So let's focus on that.
Longevity.
Let's focus on that.
There you go, guys. Well, listen, we're rethinking everything. And to be honest with you, gym owners, listen to this. You should be rethinking everything all the time, including your policies, including your model, including your promises, your marketing, your staff, whatever it is. Always rethink it. Just because it's been working or has worked or that's the way it's always been, That's like the worst response. Like you always can be continuously improving. And here we are taking an industry that's 100 years old in fitness, and we're deciding that isn't our promise anymore. Weight loss isn't our promise. It shouldn't be your promise either, gym owners. So listen, guys, if you need help figuring all this out, we got a lot of resources for you. Check the links in the show notes. We got our new YouTube channel up, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. It helps you rethink some things. That's it for this show. Until next time, keep changing lives. See you on the next one. Bye. All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. If you want more help growing your business, join our free Facebook group, Profit Accelerator, helping training gyms grow to $30,000 a month and beyond. We'd love to see you there. Go check out the show notes for the link and keep building something great. And we'll see you in the next episode.